Hi, I'm Dylan from Dylan's Car Reviews. If you're new here, then welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy this video. If you've seen my face before, then welcome back. Today, we're going to have a look at the gorgeous Skoda Enyaq Coupe. I think it looks beautiful and I can't stop talking about it. But I also think it looks a bit like the Tesla Model X. So I wonder, is this going to be better value for money? Who knows? Stick around and we'll take a closer look to find out. First, I'd like to apologise for any faces I make. That sun is blinding me, but I just had to get this car in the sun. It's finished in a beautiful moon white metallic paint, and when the sun hits it, it's just gorgeous. Now this here is a Sportline, and it has a plus pack as well. So you'll notice it's got these lovely big alloys, black mirror caps, privacy glass in the rear, and that's all part of the plus pack. But this window surround in black is actually standard on all models. Honestly, I think a black and white combination like this looks great, especially in the Sportline when it's a bit more aggressive. The contrast is just beautiful. If I just bring you around to the front of this car, as you can see from this big plastic grille, yes, it is a full EV. This is a 77 kilowatt hour battery, and that gives the car around 204 PS and about 310 Newton meters of torque. It is also rear wheel drive, so yes, it's quite fun to drive. Just looking at it though, it obviously being the Sportline, it has nice angular shapes all around it. You can see these bonnet lines down here, big Skoda badge proud in the middle, and everything with the black contrast and the side vents just surrounding everything really give it more of a contrasting edge as well. So I think it looks great. And because it has a plus package, you do get these LED lights, and they are adaptive lights too. So very nice car to look at. Now just before I get in here, something very cool is the seat actually has a pressure pad under it, and that's how the car switches on. There is a button as well, but this is so much cooler. Once you sit in, the car then detects that you're here and everything lights up for you. The interior of the car is really nice as well. Compared to the Model X, this touchscreen is landscape instead of portrait like a big tablet. And actually, I prefer that. I don't know if it's just because I'm more used to it and it's more traditional, but to me, it's a lot easier to use and you can see it a lot more clearly rather than everything being stacked up. So I prefer that. We've got this multifunction steering wheel, which is perforated leather on the Sportline, and everything's just in front of you. Pretty typical of a multifunction wheel now. We've got this nice leather feeling dashboard, also finished with chrome and carbon fibre effect trim. Some plastic buttons in here, which you don't get on the Teslas at all. Yeah, they're a little bit cheap feeling, but it's good to have physical buttons. And these control important things like the drive mode and your safety features, as well as climate control. This here is your gear selector, which is just the tiniest little toggle switch, but it's only one gear, so it's an automatic in an EV, but you don't need to touch it that often, so that's absolutely fine. And actually, it frees up more space here as well. Got plenty of storage with 2 cup holders, a storage bin there, and also in the armrest. And it does come with a wireless charging pad on this plus pack as well, but there is a separate cable plugged in if you want to plug it in with a wire. Now the seats in this car, again, Sportline, nice and sporty. They've got big shoulder supports and a little cutout as well, nice comfortable headrest. So they look and feel great. Overall, the build quality in this is actually better than you would expect from a Tesla. For a start, the panels all line up. Sorry, Tesla. But yeah, interior I think is much nicer. It's more premium quality. Yeah, there's some cheap plastic bits here, but overall, I think it's much better. In the rear of the car, there's so much space, even though that roof slopes down as much as it does. That passenger front seat there is in a reasonable position, and I've still got plenty of room. And it's a similar story above with the headroom. Still lots of space there. And similarly to the Model X Tesla, this does have a panoramic roof that goes all the way over, and it just lets a lot more light flood in and brightens the interior up a bit, making it feel even more spacious. So I really like this, and I think actually this has a bit more space than what the Tesla would. So again, another point for Skoda. Now I think from this rear angle you can tell more what I mean when I say I think it looks like the Model X, but genuinely I think this looks much nicer than that. That's a bit bubbly, whereas this is more sharp and edgy. Now if I just open up this boot here, of course it's power tailgate from the plus pack, but inside there's so much space in here. Now, even in the Enyaq Coupe, you get 570 litres of boot space with the rear seats upright, and that's compared to only like 400 and something in the Model X. So there genuinely is a lot more space in here. As I said earlier, this is a 77 kilowatt hour battery version of the Skoda Enyaq Coupe. I say battery version, all the Enyaqs are full EVs, but you do get different size of batteries. This one, however, gives the car about 204 PS and around 310 Newton meters of torque. Clearly not enough for that Range Rover driver there, but it does make the car go from 0 to 62 miles per hour in around 8.5 seconds. Unlike them, I think that's fast enough, and actually it's pretty fun because it's rear wheel drive, and when you put it into sport mode on these country roads, it's quite an engaging drive, and honestly, I don't think you need any more than what it gives. And talking of the drive modes, of course, like I say, you've got sport, but you also have eco and you have normal, and basically they just change like the responsiveness of the pedal and the amount of power you get from the battery at the time. And another thing that I have noticed is it changes the regenerative braking. For example, when you put it in the sport mode, it increases how severe the braking is. Severe is a bit of a strong word, but it does change how much it brakes when you lift off the pedal, and it just helps to put a little bit of power back into the battery to help extend your range. Now, it's not enough to say that you won't need to charge it for a while, because you will, but it does help that from a full charge, Skoda say you'll get around 330 miles. Realistically, I've not seen that myself. Just now I'm at 70% and it's showing 201 miles, but I've driven this car a couple of days and I've already had to charge it, and it was down at 39%, and it took 43 minutes to get it back up to 77%, and there's faster charging EVs out there, so I think that could do with improving. But again, this is just a 77 kilowatt hour battery. You do get different models, and you can get the Skoda VRS as well, which is more performance based. I don't know whether that would charge any faster, but I think the range might be more with a bigger battery, but also could use more if there's more performance from it. Overall, I quite enjoy the drive. Very smooth, nice and relaxing, steering's nice and light, it's easy. I mean, here we're going round quite a big bend, but it feels like nothing, and the car is so stable as well. Like, there's very little body roll for the weight of it. Okay, so me coming on here and asking if this was a better car than a Tesla Model X was a very bold statement, but now that we've watched this video, I think you can agree that actually it wasn't that bold at all. So let's just summarise and compare the two. So the Tesla Model X boot space, in that you get around 400 litres of space with the seats up, but in this you get 570 litres, which is a lot more. This arguably looks a lot better. In my opinion, it does. I prefer the look of this. It's a lot more sharp, and it also gets the same panoramic roof that the Model X has, albeit that one continues into the windscreen, but imagine the cost of trying to replace that. Don't want to think about it. In terms of battery range, the Model X does slightly better with around 358 miles. This is 337, so realistically that's only, what, 20 miles less, 30? Not a lot when you take everything into consideration, and you're not going to be that down to the wire with it that it's going to make much of a difference. But the biggest difference here is the cost. Now, for the Model X, you're talking minimum £70,000, whereas these start from just 51 grand. Now, I'm saying just 51,000 as if it's cheap. I know it's not, but when you consider what you're getting for your money, this is so much better value. So if I was looking between the two at what to buy, this definitely would be my go-to. And don't forget as well, they do this not in the Coupe version, so you can just get the Skoda Enyaq, which is more of an SUV looking car, but honestly I think this is gorgeous. But let me know what you think. Have you been considering a Model X and now this is a competitor that you're going to think about? Or were you just interested in knowing what this was? Let me know in the comments down below and tell me what you think